You, Inspector. Good morning, Inspector. At 3 o'clock the next afternoon, I was rearranging the furniture in Nero Wolfe's office while the great man sat behind his desk, watching me perspire.
Are you finished now, Archie?
Well, I guess so.
Oh, and tell me where they sat.
There were 2 couches like this in front of a fireplace. Collins and Boyce were sitting together on one couch. When Georgia and I came in, they were looking at some canceled checks.
Where was Mrs. Collins?
I told you, she was getting ice and fresh glasses.
Why was she getting fresh glasses, Archie? Where were the empty ones?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they were the same ones she brought back washed and polished.
Archie, I trust your powers of observation absolutely. That's why I sent you to Mrs. Collins' cocktail party.
Okay, how did you know there was going to be a murder if it was a murder?
It was a murder, Archie. Wasn't it obvious?
How was it obvious? Suppose Collins slipped a few drops of the poison into his drink himself.
It's a very strong, very deadly poison. It has a remarkably strong odor.
I know. I smelled it. It's like almonds. When I picked them up, I smelled it.
Archie, was anything found on the body that might have contained the poison? A fountain pen, whatever?
Not even that.
Inspector Kramer found a poison pellet in Georgia's handbag. He thinks she poisoned Collins' drink.
Say, could be. But his drink wasn't his drink. It was his wife's. Then Georgia was trying to kill Jane, and Collins got it by mistake.
We shall soon see, Archie.
I was expecting a murder because you told me to expect it. I watched every move that everybody made. There's no possibility that Jane's glass, the glass with the poison in it, was tampered with by anybody.
This I believe.
Okay.
Ah, Archie, you're sore, aren't you?
Oh, have you ever spent the night with Inspector Kramer? He's really a good man, too. Why did you say he was a jackass?
Because he didn't know who killed Collins.
Do you?
Of course. Was there ever any question about it?
Just a moment, please.
The only trouble is it may be difficult to prove. That's why we're going to give a little cocktail party this afternoon with the help of Inspector Kramer. Oh, by the way.
Yes?
Call Mrs. Collins and tell her to bring a bucket of ice from her refrigerator.
Why?
Because our refrigerator is broken down.
You know it hasn't. I was just out in the kitchen a minute ago.
Our refrigerator has broken down. And it would be very helpful if Mrs. Collins would bring a bucket of ice cubes.
What makes you think she'll do it?
She will. Call her.
6:45. There we were in Wolfe's office, doing a repeat performance of last night's smash hit. 2 couches faced each other, a cocktail table between them. On one couch, blonde Georgia and me. On the other couch, it was a big one, Joe Boyce, Jane Collins, widow of the lately defunct Albert, and Nero Wolfe. Jane had been drinking a little slower than the rest of us. Our glasses were empty. Hers was still half full. Wolfe said,
Archie?
Yeah?
At this point in last night's party, Mrs. Collins got up and left to get some fresh glasses. Repeat what she said.
Approximately?
Approximately will do.
I think she said something like this. She said, put my drink over by you, Georgia. Lay off, Albert. I've had about 3 swallows of it. Besides, you don't need any more, Albert. Am I right, Jane?
Close enough, Archie, but what of it?
Now, what is this nonsense all about, Wolfe?
Well, Mr. Wolfe is trying to make something out of nothing.
No, I think Mr. Wolfe is about to turn up something mighty interesting. Don't look so perturbed, Joe.
Since I'm doing the part of the late Mr. Collins, pass me Jane's glass.
Well, I'll keep my glass, Mr. Wolfe. I haven't finished my drink.
You're a very clever woman, Mrs. Collins.
Would it be too much if I asked what this was all about?
What bothers you, Archie?
You make it sound as if that drink she's holding is poisoned, but it can't be. Because like yesterday, she's already drunk half of it herself.
When our freezer broke down, she was more than willing to bring a bucket of ice cubes, wasn't she?
So?
What would happen, Archie, if you froze a gelatin-coated pellet of poison in the center of one particular ice cube? Mrs. Collins hasn't finished her drink. Notice the ice is all melted now. She hasn't taken one sip since the ice melted completely. She came prepared in case she was exposed. Smell it, Archie.
No, Archie, stand back. I can easily swallow this before you can reach me. Mr. Wolfe, in a few seconds I'll drink it. But tell me something first. Tell me how you knew.
Jean, listen to me.
I knew there was going to be a murder last night because you said so. I knew that it was you who would commit the murder because it was you who invited me. You hoped an expert witness would prove that you couldn't have killed your husband. So, I sent Archie Goodwin, whose observations are always exact, even when he doesn't know the import of what he's observing.
She brought back clean glasses. She poured the drinks out of bottles already opened. And if anybody had put anything or touched one of those glasses, I would have seen it.
Exactly. The poison pellet was frozen in a certain ice cube. Mrs. Collins put that cube in her own drink, drank it until the ice had almost melted down to the poisonous pellet center. And then she took all the other glasses away, leaving only hers half full. And as usual, her husband drank it.
No, Jean, don't.
Too late, Joe. Too late.
Well, boss, Jane didn't get away with a suicide try. That was clever thinking you did.
I prepared a cube of ice in which I had frozen a gelatin capsule containing nothing more than a vitamin compound. I substituted it for the cube in which Jane had placed the poison for herself.
I wonder why Jane Collins wanted to have Joe. He'd stolen practically all the money in the company. He was just a crook.
Birds of a feather, Archie. I don't believe Joe Boyce had any idea that Jane was planning a murder. And he still had all the money.
Well, the forgeries will put him away for a long time. And poor Georgia could have had it all pinned on her if it hadn't been for me.
Yes. You knew all along, didn't you, that Jane had planned to have Georgia accused by planting another pellet of the poison in Georgia's handbag. Jane would have gotten rid of her husband and Joe's wife in one stroke. You knew all that, didn't you?
Well, how about a bottle of beer, boss?
Could you spare the time?
Georgia? Beautiful blonde. I wonder where she is tonight.
I am sure I haven't the slightest idea. But, in case you do, well, just be quiet with the elevator door when you come in.
You have been listening to the new adventures of Nero Wolfe. Our show was performed before a live audience in Laguna Woods Village. Stay tuned for tonight's other broadcasts of Stagecoach and Inner Sanctum, starring Barbara Rush. 3 chimes mean good times on NBC. Please stay seated. Stagecoach will return momentarily.
You beg of me.
All right. The Old Pros of Laguna Woods presents a radio adaptation of the movie classic Stagecoach. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A little history before we begin our story. On January 9th, 1949, the NBC Theater began a series of Screen Director Guild productions in which the directors chose their favorite film assignments. John Ford, four-time Academy Award winner, was chosen to begin this series. And of all the films he directed, he chose to begin with Stagecoach. John Wayne and Claire Trevor performed in the half-hour radio show. Tonight, Artie Rosenstein and Benji Johnson appear in the roles of the Ringo Kid and Dallas. In 1885, the stagecoach was the only means of travel on the American frontier. And in those days, no name struck more dread into the hearts of the travelers than Geronimo, leader of the Apache Indians. This is a story of a party of people who travel from the town of Tonto Basin, Arizona, to Lordsburg, New Mexico by stagecoach in 1885.
Well, that's how it is, folks. Geronimo's Apaches are on the warpath, burning every ranch in sight.
Well, then the question before the party assembled in the stagecoach is, shall we continue?
I say yes. Continue.
Continue? Mrs. Mallory, should you be traveling in your condition?
My husband's in Apache Wells with his troops. I want to be with him when our baby arrives.
Madam, I am a gambler, and I admire and respect a bold gamble. But aren't you gambling with a life besides your own?
I forgot to tell you, Mr. Hatfield, we're getting a cavalry escort to Apache Wells.
Well, that settles it. I'm going on.
Well, count me in, of course, Buck.
All right, I'll go find my shotgun guard.
You don't have to go no further, Buck.
What? Well, Curly, dag-nabbit, how are you, Sheriff?
Fine, thanks, but I'll be riding shotgun up next to you this trip, Buck.
You? What for?
The Ringo Kid escaped from prison, and I'm looking for him.
The feller who shot Jed Michaels dead?
I hear he's headed for Lordsburg to shoot it out with the 3 plumber boys. So I'll be right up there with you, Buck, all the way to Lordsburg.
Hey, here she comes, top of the hill now. There comes the stagecoach. Stagecoach. Hey, you better stand back there, Doc.
Yeah, stand down the road there, Dallas girl.
Thanks, Doc.
Hail the sagebrush chariot.
Oh, Doc, why do I have to leave town? Just because all these women here want me to? I don't want to go to Lordsburg.
No more than I, Dallas girl, but you know, you are a lady somewhat too hospitable to gentlemen, and I am a doctor somewhat too hospitable to spirit. We, girl, are the dregs of Tonto. They send us from their midst. Begone! Take the next stage. Come, Dallas, be a proud, glorified dreg like me.
Whoa there! Whoa! Whoa!
Hi there, Buck. You have acquired 2 more eager passengers.
The engines are rising, Doc.
And I thank them for that mark of respect. Tell them they may be seated now. Enter, Dallas.
Thanks, Doc.
Take your place beside the other lady. Then forward, on to Lordsburg.
What you driving through this canyon, Buck?
Well, I sure aim to be hard to shoot at, in case Geronimo's Apaches are in them hills.
I'm with you, Buck, the law.
That don't make me bulletproof. Oh, Kingdom, hi. Here it comes, Apaches.
I'll keep your shirt on and stop the coach. It ain't Apaches. It's someone up ahead blocking the road with a rifle.
Whoa there, whoa, whoa.
Well, here he comes, whoever he is.
Well, it's the Ringo Kid.
That's right, Buck. Howdy, Curly.
Ringo.
Didn't expect to find the sheriff riding shotgun.
I was headed for Lordsburg, same as you, Ringo.
Well, my horse went lame, so you got another passenger.
I'll take that Winchester first, Ringo.
That's so, Sheriff.
You're under arrest for the murder of Jed Michael.
Sorry, Curly, but this Winchester here says different.
Sorry, Ringo, but if you look back up the road a piece, you'll see our escort, the United States Cavalry, coming up.
Oh,
I'll take that rifle now, Ringo.
sure, Sheriff, but you better hold on to it. You might need it before we get to Lordsburg.
Oh, thanks. Now you can get in the coach now.
Much obliged, Sheriff.
Get going, Buck, get going.
Giddy up, Bessie. Giddy up, Bonnie. Yeah!
So you're the famous Ringo Kid, huh?
My friends call me Ringo. Right name's Henry.
Henry? Seems to me I knew your family, Henry. Did I fix your arm once when you were fucked off a horse?
That was my kid brother broke his arm. You did a good job, Doc, even if you was drunk.
Well, thank you, son. Well, whatever happened to that boy whose arm I fixed?
He was murdered.
Oh, no.
Him and my dad by the 3 plumber boys.
Well, good luck when you get to Lordsburg, son.
Thanks, Doc.
Oh, Mrs. Mallory, you look so tired. Would you like to rest your head on my shoulder?
No, thank you. Mr. Hatfield, would you mind if I sat on your side of him?
Not at all, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Right here, Mrs. Mallory.
Thank you, Mr. Hatfield.
I must have the plague, huh, Dallas?
You? Oh, no, it's not you.
Have a little drinky, Hatfield?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, he said. Have a big drinky, Doc? Well, yes, thank you.
You're not going to move away from me, are you?
No, Ringo.
Well, I can't expect to break out of prison and into society in the same week.
Oh, she'll hear you.
Guess I'm pretty dumb for sitting down beside a lady like you, Dallas.
A lady?
Thanks for not moving.
Don't, please. Why are you looking at me like that?
Ain't I seen you someplace before?
No, you haven't.
Wish I had, though.
I know you. I know who you are. I guess everybody in the territory does.
Yep, well, I used to be a good cowhand, but things happen.
Yeah, that's it. Things happen.
Hello, little bottle. Drink up, Doc. Drink up.
Doc's getting a snootful.
Things happen, and now they'll take you back to prison.
Not till I finish a job in Lordsburg.
Oh, Ringo, I wish you wouldn't.
Wish I wouldn't what?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Bottle, little bottle, bottle.
Confound that driver. Why doesn't he drive more carefully?
He's playing it smart, Hatfield. He took to the mountains. Apaches don't like snow.
Well, you might have more consideration for Mrs. Mallory and her condition.
I'll be all right, Mr. Hatfield. Thank you.
Bottle.
Apache Wells ahead! Apache Wells!
Mr. Hatfield, why didn't my husband and his troops meet us here?
Well, the Wrangler tells me that Captain Mallory's been sent ahead to Lordsburg.
Lordsburg?
We'd better turn around and follow the cavalry escort to Tonto.
We can't do that.
Well, with Apaches on the warpath, it ain't safe to go through Apache country without escort. I say we ought to turn back.
There's only one way to find out. Take a vote.
Well, what do you say, Mrs. Mallory? On to Lordsburg or back to Tonto?
I want my husband with me when our baby's born.
Doc?
Ain't you forgot this lady?
What, you mean Dallas?
Oh, well, I say go. I've nothing to go back to.
Doc?
Lordsburg, pass the bottle.
Ringo?
Ringo's my prisoner, and I'm voting his proxy. I say Lordsburg.
Hatfield?
I'm at the service of Mrs. Mallory.
Thank you.
Buck?
Well, Lordsburg it is. Well, let's all step inside and get some grubbing. Look spry there.
Better take my arm up these steps, Mrs. Mallory.
No, thank you, really, I'm quite,
Mrs. Mallory!
Bottle.
I've got her. Dr. Bone, Mrs. Mallory needs your help.
What? Who? What do you want?
Oh, it's no use. He's drunk. Ringo.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think you'd better go inside and start heating some water.
All you want and then some.
Carry her inside, Mr. Hatfield.
Oh, allow me. Sit down,
I'll
girl.
carry her myself, you sot.
Thank you, sir.
You drunken swine.
Thank you.
Now, if you open the door for me, Dallas.
Oh, yes.
Drunken swine of a doctor.
Doc, honest, ain't you ashamed?
Did I understand that swine to call me a drunken swine?
Oh, I wish I could do something.
Well, you know, there is something you can do, Buck.
Yeah, but what can you do in your condition?
I can drink all the hot black coffee you can make. I, sir, am a doctor. Now get busy, get busy.
Geronimo's warriors gathered behind the hills surrounding Apache Wells, where the stagecoach waited as Lucy Mallory gave birth to a baby girl.
Oh, it makes me nervous being held up like this in Apache country just when they're getting mad at us again.
Quiet, Buck.
Huh?
Someone's coming. Dallas?
Oh, look, everyone. It's a little girl.
A girl.
Let me see it. Well, I'll be doggone.
That's real fine, ain't it, Dallas? Real fine.
Oh, yes, Curly, it's fine.
Oh, a baby. Well, I mean, what?
I'll explain it to you sometime, Buck.
Listen, boys.
Doc Boone? Come on, boys. Let's have 3 cheers for old Doc Boone.
No, never mind the 3 cheers. Just pour me 4 fingers instead. Doctor work makes me thirsty.
Dallas? It's me, Ringo.
Oh.
You oughtn't be outside here alone. Apaches like to sneak up and pick off strays.
Well, you're here now.
Well, yeah. Well, I watched you with that baby today. You look, well, nice.
Oh, I just wanted to hold her for a minute.
You, visiting in Lordsburg?
Oh, no. I have friends there, and maybe I can find work. Ringo, why don't you try to escape? Why don't you get away?
I aim to, in Lordsburg.
Well, why Lordsburg? Why don't you make for the border now?
My father and my brother were shot down by the plumber boys. I guess you don't know how it feels to lose your own folks that way.
I lost mine when I was a kid. There was a massacre in Superstition Mountain.
Oh, that's tough, especially on a girl.
Well, you gotta live no matter what happens.
Yeah, that's it. Look, Miss Dallas, you got no folks. Neither have I, and, well, maybe I'm taking a lot for granted, but, well, I still got a ranch across the border. It's a nice place, a real nice place. Trees, grass, water. There's a cabin half built. A man could live there, and a woman, and, well, maybe I'm crazy being close to you like this. Will you go?
But you don't know me. Well, you don't know who I am.
I know all I want to know. Will you go?
Oh, Ringo.
That ain't an answer, Dallas.
Ringo, you can't go to Lordsburg. Not now. The plumber boys will be 3-1 against you. You'll get killed.
Can't tell.
You can't win.
Can't run away from it, neither.
Oh, how can you talk about our life together when you want to throw your life away?
Well, what do you want me to do?
Get away. I'll follow you.
You mean that, Dallas?
Well, I just can't leave Mrs. Mallory and her baby now. But listen, there's a horse all saddled and ready for you in the corral.
What?
Yes, and there's a rifle on the saddle boot. Now get going. I'll come after you.
I'm counting on that, Dallas, with my life.
Oh, goodbye, Ringo. Watch out for the Apaches.